Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to use another MDF board or pine board. I have taped the back of it and I have actually sprayed with a vignette fixer. I'll show you. Varnish fixative. And then I also put a very light coat of my Liquitex gloss varnish over because down here had a little crack in it. So I poured the varnish onto it and then spread it out with one of my little sponge brushes, and it filled in the gap, and I'm hoping that will give it a little bit more strength and it won't break afterwards, because this I'm going to be putting my modeling paste on. So I'm going to cover this with a light coat of white first and wait for that to dry, and then you guys can come back. I'll do it off camera and I'll get it all ready and set up and we can watch what I'm going to do. Okay, so now the next step, I'm going to go over this with my modeling paste. This is a brand new tub that I bought the other day because I'm starting to run out of this one here. So there's not really much left in this, but I'll keep the container because these are really good to keep for putting other things in, either paint or pouring medium. You just give them a good clean out and then you can use them again. Before I start with the modeling paste, I'm just going to show you some of the tools I'm going to use with modeling paste. So to put it on, I'm going to use my trusty palette knives here, and then to give it some texture while it's wet, I'm a bit of a hoarder. Just ask my poor husband. And these are fruit bags or onion bags from the shops. Here's one with the things still on it. And what I do is I keep them. And they actually put amazing texture on the modeling paste. I have actually cut them and put them into my multimedia artwork. The coastal one I did, which was a commission job, had some of these in it, and then I used the modeling paste to smear over, and I actually kept them. I cut them randomly and then smeared the modeling paste over them like this, and it gives them a great texture. And then you can move it around as well. You're not limited to just having it flat on your substrate. You can actually have it like this sitting up or whatever. It's good fun. So I'll show you how I cut it off. So I try and do it very close to the edge. Like that. And then it will have a couple of little bits come off it. Just dust those off. And you can either cut it into strips that you want to keep, you can rip it. It's really quite easy. And you can arrange it around your painting or around whatever. I'm going to use it today. I think, to put texture into my modeling paste. So I'm going to clean this mess up that I've just made, and we'll get started. And I'm just going to smear that straight on. And as my son would say, here is the satisfying moment. This stuff. So you can be as rough or as neat as you want to be. I like doing it reasonably rough because it is modeling paste. You want to see the texture. At the moment, I'm going to go around my flower, and then as I get into the middle, I will either go over it or around it. I'm not sure yet. So what you can do is just like this with your palette knife, or you can go smeary smeary. I love playing with it. I think it's great fun. Alrighty, this is the air dry clay that I have. I got it in Kmart, our local Kmart shop where I live. So I'm not sure what it's like, but it says it's a terracotta colour. Ideal for creating jewellery, ornaments and figurines. No oven or kiln required. So that means I can use it and it will dry in the air. It does have some instructions on the back which I cannot read because I don't have my glasses on. So I will read my instructions first and then we'll have a go at trying to make a poppy with this clay. Wish me luck. I've got my trusty really sharp blade here. I have a snap lock bag for my clay, and I will also find an airtight container, put my clay in, and then I'll put the clay in the container in the bag. Double whammy. I have a bucket of water, I have some wet wipes, I also have a towel. So let's see how we go. How much I can stuff this up. Ooh, bag in a bag. Oh, it's vacuum sealed. That's cool. I'm just going to shut my window so the wind doesn't come in, because it's windy. Here goes nothing. And it's in another bag. Ooh, it's very wet. Well, that's cool. I've actually got, I forgot to tell you, baking paper down here. Okay, alrighty. Ew. It's rather wet, which is good. So we'll just cut a little bit off to start with. Oh. Certainly reminds me of clay. Well, obviously, because it says it's clay. Taking me back to my childhood. When I was a child, my mum used to be a potter. One of her many talents that she had. And we, as kids, used to go down into her pottery room with her, and she used to let us make our own pieces of art. And I must tell you, there's nothing more satisfying than having your hands covered in clay. It was lots of fun. So, oh, wow, it's actually quite easy to use. Possibly should have taken my rings off for this, but right. So that was easier than I thought. So the plan is my flower here. So I have a guide, and I'm going to pull a piece of the clay off. And I'm going to work it. Oh, I know what I've got. I've actually got clay tools. What am I doing? Hold that thought. Oh, yep, it works. I don't know if you can see that, but the flower is just in there.
Okie dokie, so from here on I'm going to do a voiceover because there was so much footage that I took during the process of making this that if I talked all the way through it we'd be here for weeks and you would all fall asleep. Okay, so the second flower I changed my strategy slightly and did them petal by petal and just built the flower around the template of my original drawing, which seemed to be a little bit easier, and I'm actually extremely happy with how they've turned out. This is the first time I've used this type of clay, and it wasn't dear. As I said, it was from Kmart, and it was pretty easy to use, and it dried really well. It did crack in a couple of little bits, but that's probably, I didn't make it very wet. I was a bit concerned about over wetting it, but the more you use stuff, the better you get at it, and this one I definitely got way more confident as I went on with my flowers. And I'll leave you guys to watch this bit. I fast forwarded it a lot for you so it's not too boring, and in the next step I start to paint. My poppies dry beautifully. They look really good. They still resemble poppies. And now I'm going to paint a white base on them, on the entire flower, just to give them a little bit more even area to paint on. And it also helps with the paint because the paint does soak into your clay. So doing the white base helps that as well. And it just makes it a little bit easier when you're painting your colour onto them. I made some extra flowers here, you'll notice. I have actually ended up using all of the flowers I made, and I have one flower that at the end you'll see I have a question to ask you all. So sit back and relax, enjoy the music and watch the process here. The red I'm putting on at the moment is a warm red, and I also have a cool red. I do 2 coats of this because the paint, as I said, does soak in, and then I plan on going in and giving it some more finer detail. This part here is the transformation. My red blobs start transforming into actual poppies. They look so good. Just even at this early process of the flower, I was gobsmacked at how much they actually do look like the poppies I drew. So I was actually very happy, and I must really thank ABCreative. She is a massive inspiration in my art when I create my creations, and I try and not copy her exactly, but just watch what she does and then do my take on it, which is what art's all about. It's about being inspired by someone else that you watch. Okay, so it was about this point here that I realised that I'm going to use all the flowers I made. They all looked equally as good as each other. Originally I made a second flower because I wasn't too happy with how it looked, my first one looked, but now I'm really happy with them. I have some modelling paste and I put it into a greaseproof paper and I've rolled it into a little tube, and I'm making my stems. The point of no return. So I'm actually placing my flowers down and sticking them down to the canvas with my modelling paste, and I will probably also put a little bit of glue behind them as well in areas, just to make sure they are held in place. Yes, I just dropped my lid on top of my flowers. An oopsie moment, but that's okay because it's modelling paste, and while it's wet I can wipe those bits off, and like I said, they do need a second layer of paint. Alright, so when my modelling paste is dry, I'm going to do some painting, as I said, on my stems. Okay, so I will turn the camera around in a minute and show you this so far. Any minute now. And see that little flower bud down the side on the left hand side? That is my question to you guys. Should I leave it or should I take it away? No flower bud? With the flower bud? I'm inclined to put it down. I think it looks nice. No flower bud? With the flower bud? Let me know what you think.